Mike the Truth Jackson back with another edition of Fighters Talk, and today I'm joined by a world champion representing. Would you say Houston Muay Thai is one of the pinnacle of Muay Thai gyms in the country or the state of Texas?
I think the state of Texas, honestly, they're probably the top gym.
There you go. But I'm here with two-time IFMA World Muay Thai champion, Bekah Irwin. How you feeling today, Bekah?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Now, you just came back from a 2-week, I don't want to call it a vacation. No, not really a vacation. But you spent 2 weeks over in Thailand. And once again, like last year, I know this time last year, we were talking about you coming back and you're winning gold. But now you become the first American to win, not only back-to-back, but I mean, you won 2 gold medals for an American in this tournament. How does that make you feel?
It feels pretty good, only being 16 and having 2 and being the first American to win it in the way that I won it. It's pretty cool.
Dude, I wanted to see the fights, but they came on a little too late for me. It was over here. I want to say it was like 2 or 3. Yeah, but when I woke up, I did my due diligence as a teammate, and I looked up the videos, and you had back-to-back head kick knockouts. First of all, that just getting that type of win, you have the headgear on, you have the protective gear. How hard is it, do you feel, to get a head kick knockout with all the equipment on?
I didn't really expect to get the head kick knockout, honestly, because we were wearing the shin guards and the headgear, but the shin guards, they weren't super thick, so I was like, okay, maybe I can land this if I land it just right, and I did. So.
And it was a beautiful, both of them were. The first one was against Thailand. Your second win was against Turkey. Now, your opponents, did you know anything about them going into the event? Did you, I mean, because obviously you know this is going to be some of the top competition. And, you know, you can kind of see who's ranked in the world, I mean, like yourself and, you know, other fighters around the world. But were you able to do any kind of studying on your opponents?
Not really. All we knew was, like, Thailand, we knew was going to be, like, a big kicker because I saw her fight before. I knew she was going to come in and body kick, body kick. Turkey, I didn't really see her fights because she had a walkover, but I knew she was just going to come in and, like, try and box me. And France, I knew she was just going to come running with 1-2s. So, yeah. So
how do you prepare? I mean, you're basically telling me you have 3 different styles that you have to prepare for, and you have to be cognizant of their strong suits. Like, how do you prepare for that?
I just get ready for it mentally, honestly. Like, training here, I get, like, every style there is, honestly. So I just listened to what Corley told me, and he broke down every opponent for me. Like, Thailand, he was like, okay, you're going to need to do this, and we trained it on pads. Like the night before, we worked it, and warm-up, like, leading up to the fight, we worked everything that, like, we knew they were going to come with.
Now, like I said, you spent 2 weeks out there. How long were you out there before the actual competitions began?
We were out there about a week before the competition began.
Now during that week's time, obviously you're training and, you know, obviously not heavy, but you're moving around, you're getting different looks. What do you do for the week leading up into the competition?
We did a lot of cardio work, a lot of trying to get our weight down, a lot of pads, technique, all that stuff.
And I'm assuming it's really hot inside. Now, we're here in Houston, where it's an oven outside. Well, how would you compare the heats from Thailand to here in Houston?
They're pretty similar, but Thailand is just, it's hotter and it's more like heavy, like the air is just kind of thick.
Oh, I at one point I wanted to go to Thailand. But with this new information, Bangkok.
Yeah, it's just Bangkok.
Now, before the fights, I know you're trying to get your weight down so you're not eating too crazy, but is there anything in Thailand as far as the cuisine that stood out to you that you kind of want to go back and try again?
The street food, all the street food that I couldn't eat, I want to go back and eat it.
Yeah, well, after the fight, did you, or after the tournament, were you able to kind of indulge a little bit?
We didn't really have much time, but I did go get some, like, crepes that they sold out on the street. Those were really good.
All right, so now we have the tournament. Again, you won last year. Was there any added pressure, or did you just go in with the mindset, I'm just going to win?
I felt a little bit added pressure. I knew that I had more people in my bracket, so I was going to have more fights. And I knew, like, I got gold last year, so people were going to kind of expect me to get gold, you know, like a little bit more higher expectations. But I didn't really think too much of it come fight day.
Okay. So, like I said, your first fight is against Thailand in their home country. I mean, what does that do for you?
It put a little bit of pressure on me because I knew she was a heavy kicker, and I was like, well, maybe she might be able to outkick me. So I was just I was kind of worried, but not so much. I knew they were going to have like a big crowd for her, and evidently she was like a big Thai fighter in their community, so it felt pretty good to like beat her.
Once the head kick landed, again, beautiful, beautiful technique, beautiful knockout. What was your immediate reaction?
I landed it, and I saw she kind of like, I saw her eyes go back in her head. I was like, oh, this might be done. And I saw her land, and I was like, is she good enough? And I was like, no. And I threw my hands up, and I celebrated. I was like, okay, she's done.
And then now we fast forward to your next match. You're taking on Turkey. And I want to say that was an even worse knockout because that one she just kind of like flew back, and that was a wrap. Once that head kick landed, did you know the fight was over?
I knew that one was over because I felt it. I landed it right on her neck, and I saw her. I felt her just crumble. I was like, "Oh yeah, she's through."
And what kind of feeling is it like when you're sitting there, and obviously you're in a fist fight, and you basically knock someone out unconscious? I mean, they're completely done. What does that make you feel like?
It's kind of hard to describe. Like, it's not really a feeling you can put into words. I was just really happy for myself.
And again, I've been there. You know, I've been on the giving end of some devastating knockouts myself. So you're right. It is kind of hard to put in words. But I was just curious from your perspective, being 16 years old, being one of the best fighters in the world, and just landing these vicious knockouts. Now, going into the finals, again, you're taking on France. Up until that point, was there anything that stood out to you about your opponent? Anything that you were concerned of? What was your mindset going into the championship fight?
I knew she was going to be really scrappy, so I was trying to prepare for like fighting going backwards because I didn't want to get into a brawl with her. I wanted to keep it a little more technical and just kind of like pick my shots. And yeah, I knew the technical part had to come out instead of just a straightforward like brawl.
Correct. Now, the closing moments of the fight, there was a nasty flurry that you finished your opponent with, both elbows and knees. What do you feel set that up? At what point in the fight you were just like, I'm about to get her out of here?
I knew because every time I clinched her, she would put her head down, so I was like, okay, the knees to the head are there. So that's what I 8-counted her with in the second round. So I was like, okay, this is going to work for me. So the third round, when she'd been over the last time, I threw a few elbows, and I threw just a really big knee to the head, and she was through.
Now, do you feel that throughout the tournament, what do you feel about your performance throughout the tournament from the first fight to the last fight? Like, what grade would you give yourself on your performance?
I don't want to be cocky, but I feel like it was the best I've performed in any of my fights ever. I felt good cardio-wise. I felt good physically. It was the best I've performed.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, look at it. You went out last year. You won. You got gold for America, and then you come back the next year and you repeat in devastating fashion, all finishes. So now you again 2-time champion. Are we going back for the hat trick, or what's the plan and what's the future for Bekah Irwin?
I would just keep doing Thai fights as much as possible. I think I might go back in December to fight again. I'm going to hope to fight really soon after that, just get as much experience as I can.
Any plans of fighting here at home? Because, I mean, look, we're tired. People don't want to, like, stay up in 3, 4, 5 in the morning to watch you knock someone out. We want to see it live and in person here. Anything on the horizon?
I mean, I'm hoping to fight here really soon, but I don't know if any shows are coming up.
Do we need to talk to Michael Corley and make something happen?
Yeah, I wouldn't talk to Corley. Yeah.
There you go. You have it here. Bekah Irwin, 2-time world champion, possibly a third coming. Look, she's only 16 years old. Wait, birthday coming up though, right?
November.
In November. What we doing? What we doing?
I don't know yet.
What kind of we kicking somebody's head off?
No, just
eating some cake though, right?
A lot.
Yeah, here we go. Bekah Irwin. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we get out of here?
My whole team, Jim, everybody.
There you go. Bekah, thank you so much for taking the time.